Okay, thank you very much. Good morning or good afternoon to all of you. So I'm going to quickly maybe introduce the context at Schneider Electric, and then we go in some example how private sector and humanitarian organizations could collaborate. So on the next slide, you will see a brief of Schneider Electric Company. So as you can see on this slide, we have a worldwide presence. We are investing a very significant part of our activity in R&D, representing roughly 5% of our annual turnover. And basically, what you should know about Schneider is that we are a worldwide specialist of energy efficiency and energy management overall. Next slide. So since about 20 years ago, we started to get involved in projects which are more humanitarian than what we regularly do in terms of business. And we initially started using our own Schneider Electric Foundation to finance and donate equipment so as to conduct projects in different countries. And we realized that even though we are a large group, what we were doing was like a drop in the ocean. And we decided to change our mindset at that time. It was 6-7 years ago, and started with a new approach, which is to build up a social business, meaning that it's not like our regular business where we try to make profit like any other private company. In this one, we just aim at developing an activity with a just enough kind of margin to pay for our own costs, but not generate any profit. Okay, so that's where I'm involving all my energy with my team to try to develop this. So globally, we are talking here about 1 billion people in the world who do not have access to electricity at all. And we estimate 3 billion who have access to electricity, but with very poor access. For example, take people that have a lighting point being a candle or a kerosene lamp. These are dangerous means because they can harm their health in houses that are not well ventilated. There is a smoke that is affecting their health, resulting also in environmental problems like deforestation. And basically, they are also spending a lot of their yearly income to buy those candles, kerosene lamps, and so on. So there are ways that we are trying to find, developing a dedicated offer that we can provide to those people a much safer, more durable, and sustainable way of getting access to electricity. And we took that mission within my department, which is how to provide access to electricity for everyone. Basically, we take as a granted that access to electricity is the start of development, whether it's social, economical development. For example, access to electricity can trigger access to water, access to health, access to security, access to development in terms of economy, because you can start to run businesses like shops, hair cutting, boutiques, etc. Next slide. Okay, so basically we have developed our activity in 3 big pillars, and I'm going to talk mainly on the first one on the left. So I'll start with on the right. Our most ancient activity is to train electricians in rural areas. We started this activity 15 years ago. We're doing this in the form of a donation, meaning people are not paying to benefit from our general training topics on electricity and renewables. The only thing that we sell are the didactical benches. So since 15 years ago, we've trained 200,000 electricians in rural areas, mainly in Asia and Africa, 100 schools in India, namely, and all over Africa, 100 schools. And basically, we want to continue this effort and reach a million electricians trained by 2025. Basically, the way we do the training is that we use volunteers, which are either retiree people or volunteers who take over their vacation time to go to Africa, train some trainers who could then train the students. The second pillar is investment. We are investing in startup companies that are bringing a difference in terms of technology that can help people bring access to electricity. And the pillar I'm going to focus on now is offer on business model. So if you go 2 slides down, you will see that we have developed over the years, past 6-7 years, a range of products that really can respond the needs of the poorest population in countries where electrification rate is poor. So if you go 2 slides down, Lisa. Yeah, my screen is fixed, so I hope you can see this range of offers. Yes, that's it. Which is ranging from individual products, solar lanterns, up to complete plug-and-play microgrid systems, going through solar home systems, solar street lights, solar water pumping, and so on. And basically, we're trying to develop this solution at affordable price with high-quality products. The main challenge for a private company like us is that we are very, let's say, experienced and mature in terms of industry, developing products, robustness of products. We are very used to working in urban and peri-urban areas for doing business, and it's a challenge for us to do business in rural areas. So we're trying to find partners, channels, business models that will enable us to do this. And NGOs, United Nations affiliates, is really a great means. So far, we've developed several partnerships which are very successful along this line of products. Next slide. Okay, so this is an example I like maybe to focus on for you to understand how this partnership could take form. So this is a containerized microgrid that we have developed, co-developed, by the way, about a year and a half ago with Geneva staff of UNHCR. And basically, UNHCR was thinking on how they could possibly complement or replace diesel generators that are mainly feeding their life base nearby the refugee camps, but also in the future to feed key points of the refugee camps like churches, schools, etc. And basically, we came out with this offer. So you have a plug-and-play solution. You can deploy the panels. They are on wheels. There is a reason for that, is that UNHCR is operating on lands that they don't own. So for insurance reasons, they need to not tie those PVs to the ground. Okay, but we have solution with PVs that can be tied. And the advantage of this container is that you can take it off the site or on another site. It's mobile, just like a diesel genset. And it's also plug and play, meaning you just bring the container by truck or by helicopter for this 10-feet container. Any helicopter can bring it to site, and you can operate. And we call this offer Relia Emergency because that's obviously well suited for emergency response, especially for natural disasters like hurricanes, etc. What's also interesting is that with UNHCR, we worked also with some startups, because Schneider, we had mostly the electronic and software components inside this offer that we could propose. But we had to partner with a startup for the structure that is holding the solar photovoltaic panels, as well as a Swiss manufacturer of batteries, which is very suited for tropical climates, since it resists to very high temperatures without needing for air conditioning inside the container. And we've made this a standard offer thanks to this work with UN. It's now industrialized in a factory we have in Kenya. We're serving mainly Africa market. And this is, for us, a success story where we can both meet the needs of a humanitarian organization and also develop the business as a private company. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. Of course, I remain available should you have further questions even after this seminar, I'm sure Lisa or the organizers would be happy to share my contact. I also invite you, maybe you see that in the next slide, we are having a lot of communication activities around this access to energy business. We are communicating mainly on Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook. And as you can see, if we speak of Africa, which is embedding 60% of the people not having access to electricity, we have a really good presence. So we have offices which are local and could talk directly to your operations should you have antennas in those countries that you see on the screen. Next slide. I think next slide is a picture of our factory that I mentioned before in Nairobi, in Kenya, where we are. We have recently industrialized the microgrid containerized offer. So this is another picture of the factory. Okay, so basically this is where we stand, and we hope that we can continue to develop partnerships with NGOs, humanitarian sector. And should you have any question or needs, we're happy to respond.